Hi, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. I am so excited to be bringing the most amazing Dr. Anne all the way from the States. Inclusion, policies, need of the hour, education in this space, and a lot more. Here she is. Yay, Dr. Anne, your first ever live. How are you? Good
Good
morning.
morning. I am thrilled to be here, Devangana, and it is just a really bright, sunny morning in Chicago,
Oh,
and just
yay.
a great Mother's Day. And as I heard yesterday, it really is a day for all women who care
That's it.
for
That's it.
others.
That's it. And you're gonna make so many moms so happy today, Dr. Ann, because so many moms follow us and they're gonna listen to this, and this is just gonna make them so happy. So thank you for doing
No
this. I love you
problem.
always, but I love you even more today. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
I feel
can.
like
Can you hear me?
okay. Yes, it's a little shaky, but I think it should settle in a minute.
Okay, great.
Okay. Awesome. So should we just start off with like just chatting about how we know each other? So I met Dr. Ann when I was working with an autistic. I think we dropped you. Give me a second till we have you again. I feel like Dr. Ann's network is a little. Hi, are
I
you
think
back
I'm
here?
I think I'm good now.
Okay,
It's been
okay, okay,
asking me
okay.
multiple times.
Okay. Awesome. No, we have you here. So Dr. Ann and I know each other because a few years ago, I was working with an autistic boy, severely autistic boy at Soho House, and that's when we met each other. And then we worked together at Stellar Schools, and then Dr. Ann left for the States, and I started to scale Brain Bristle. So that's basically our story of serendipitous meetings. But I'd love for you to tell a little more about you. You've got so much amazing experience, work. Just like talk a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I was born and raised in Chicago.
Yeah.
And one of the great things about Chicago is that we have neighborhoods that literally reflect the world. And so from a very young age, I wanted to travel the world and see where people were living. And actually, I started my career in network news. So I
Yeah.
was reporting on things happening everywhere, but I wanted to get into it. So I joined the Peace Corps and I was in Niger, West Africa. Here I am living in a mud hut, and my best friend became a 13-year-old
Oh my
girl.
God.
Sahara was full of energy, full of ideas. We didn't speak the same language,
Yeah.
but you know, with kids,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
communicate.
Yeah.
So she really turned me on to becoming an educator. And I came back to Chicago, I got my degrees, and I started working. And it took me to China, Shanghai, China, where I was working in the first international school that accepted children with disability.
That's
And it
awesome.
just filled my heart. But at that time, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
And then I started my PhD back in the States, and I had an injury. And it changed my life forever because I fell down and literally saw the world right side up. I realized that there were so many beautiful children that were not getting the equitable access to education just because of a label. So I started really focusing on children with acquired disabilities, but I found that in my healing and then my research that the journey of the parent is the same no matter what. That families experience disability just as much as their child. So
Totally.
that took me to Cambodia, that took me to India and to meet you. And I'm really thrilled to have lived in so many amazing places, but have been really open to hearing, not just listening, hearing in the heart.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that you say that. I know that about you. No, that's beautiful. So, Doctor Anne, talk a little bit about, when you had a fall and, you just
Mhm.
had this big realization that you want to work in the space of disabilities.
Yeah.
What were some of your first few steps, because right now Brain Bristle is hiring to bring more social workers, and they're always skeptical. Do we really want to work with a child on the spectrum of autism?
Hmm.
So what kind of like got you to begin with? Like, what were the first few things you did when that realization hit you?
Right. Well, the first off, I was getting a PhD in education policy. So
Yeah,
I wanted to make decisions for bringing education to refugee camps and
yeah,
into really low resource areas. But I had this fall, I was in the hospital. I don't remember 2 weeks before, 6 hours before or 2 weeks after. So when I kind of came to a realization, and then I wanted to go back to school and do exactly what everybody else was doing. And it was hard.
yeah,
So I reached out. I reached out to organizations that were nearby with brain injury. I reached out to my doctors. But here's the problem: the medical community didn't talk with the education
hmm.
college. So I had to be the middle, and I had to tell the doctors what the professor said and back and forth. And I
Yeah,
said, this is not okay.
yeah,
I'm 35 years old and I am having to do this. I can't imagine an 8-year-old
yeah,
trying to communicate
yeah,
how they're feeling.
yeah.
So that's what really got me to look at a field called disability studies.
Hmm, hmm,
Disability studies looks at the social
hmm,
model.
hmm,
What are all the things that make a child who they are?
hmm.
And why should we change who they are? We should change for them. And education, special education, is following the medical
Right.
model. We have to fix them. We have to find things that will make them be okay. Why
Hmm,
can't we do both?
hmm,
Why can't we do both?
hmm,
And
hmm,
all the time,
hmm,
social workers
hmm,
are working with kids, but they're also working with the
hmm,
families.
hmm,
And think about the brother or sister and what they see. They want to protect their friend, their sibling, but they also know they're different.
hmm,
And so they have to come up with reasons why they're that way. Why
hmm,
should a kid have to figure that out? Why
hmm.
can't we help them
Yeah,
and help teachers see them as just absolutely equal? So I was thrilled when our little
yeah,
friend started at Stellar and he was part of a community, and the kids were so excited to have him in the
yeah.
class.
That was so
And
cute. That
so
was so
I
sweet. Yeah,
I know, and that's where we have to pay attention as
yeah,
adults. We have to pay
yeah,
attention,
yeah,
and we have to think, wow, what are these kids teaching us? And how can we make it easier when they leave a classroom?
yeah,
Because the classroom's protected, right?
yeah,
Like just like the house. We
yeah,
care
yeah,
about them, we take care of
yeah,
them. But once they go to the park,
yeah,
once they go to the store,
yeah,
how and get a job.
yeah.
Because our little friend is super smart. He is
Yeah, yeah,
super smart.
yeah. No, 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 no. Like, I mean, I've worked with autistic kids who are so smart. They've taught me. They're like, no, Mr. Valna, you don't know this. I know this, and they just like ratted out so much stuff. So for sure. So Dr. Annie kind of like spoke about your PhD and in Niger becoming friends with that 12, 13-year-old
Yeah.
girl. Talk a little bit more about some more pivotal moments in your professional journey, and what makes them so important. What would have happened if you wouldn't have taken those decisions, wouldn't have taken those turns?
I think about you know, I think about if I had not left everything
Yeah,
and gone and did public service,
yeah,
gone and done the Peace Corps, I would never have seen things from the other side.
yeah,
Because when I was living overseas, I'm the different one.
yeah,
And that has really shaped me. So if we stop um, the majority,
yeah,
how can we learn?
yeah.
I also, a really pivotal moment for me was when I was teaching fourth grade in Chicago.
Hmm.
We were literally 2K
Hmm.
from Lake Michigan,
Hmm.
which is one of the most beautiful lakes
Yeah,
I've ever seen. You can't
yeah,
see the other side. It was my ocean growing up.
yeah,
But my students had never seen it,
yeah,
and they lived only 2K.
yeah,
So I took them out. We walked the 2K and they explored the beach for the first time. And I said, wow, if we take kids out of a classroom and explore their world, what are they going to find?
Yeah.
So that kind of stepping outside my comfort zone and
Yeah.
helping others step out, that really
Yeah.
made a difference.
That's
And
awesome.
then
That's amazing.
two more.
Huh.
When I was in China,
Hmm.
we had a student
Hmm.
in our school
Hmm.
who was on the autism scale.
Hmm.
Sorry, autism spectrum disorder,
Yeah.
and we didn't know how to help
Yeah.
him. So we worked, and this is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So we worked with the parents on just making him
Right.
comfortable. He is thriving today. I am still friends with him
Oh,
on
that's
Facebook,
amazing.
and
I love
I want to say, hey, Sean, I'm thinking about
that.
you. You've really made a
That's
difference in my life.
awesome.
Um, but here's the thing about disability. We sometimes don't talk about it.
Hmm.
So we kind of talk with somebody, but we kind of talk around it. We don't acknowledge it, but it's part of you.
Yeah.
It's not an extra arm,
Yeah.
it's inside you.
Yeah.
So when I was in Cambodia doing my Fulbright, I'm deaf in the left ear.
Yeah.
And it was right after my injury, and I didn't know how to tell people. And so I explained my ear is broken to somebody, a Cambodian. And they said to me, they put their hand on my left ear, the deaf ear, and they said, "That's okay. You're one of us."
Oh,
For a country that has experienced such devastation of landmines and war and so much disability, that I was accepted for who I was
yeah.
without without seeing that I was American, but
That's
just one of
amazing.
them. And I
No, that's
thought, wow, how can we start talking about who we are and the uniqueness of us
yeah.
without shaming,
Yeah.
without embarrassing?
Yeah.
And so that really has just really taken me in every step. And if I didn't take those risks, if I didn't go outside of my comfort zone,
Yeah.
I would not be here. I
Yeah.
would not be the person talking to you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's beautiful. And I always feel like, I've lived in Indonesia and I've like traveled across smaller, like, parts of Southeast Asia, even in India. You just see a lot of like whatever you are, whoever you are, just come hang out, like sit here.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's just so good. Even like coming back to India, that's been one of the best parts. So talk a little bit about the teacher residency programs that you've led, and what were the larger areas of focus that you worked with when you were leading the teacher residency programs? What kind of teacher residency was that?
Sure. So first off,
Hmm.
and this is right when I was getting started
Yeah,
teaching,
yeah,
I thought, this is before my injury. I thought, wow, if doctors have to go through residency where
yeah,
they go through 2 years under an expert doctor,
yeah,
that is really the best training. You wouldn't want a doctor to open your heart if they had never trained under
yeah,
someone. And I
yeah,
thought,
yeah,
well, why aren't we doing that with teachers?
yeah,
So here I was in Chicago, and this idea had come about from our CEO of the public school
yeah,
district and the mayor, and they wanted to bring young college students who were studying to be teachers from all over the United States to Chicago and teach in the roughest neighborhoods summer
I
school.
love that. I love
And
that.
it was a way for them to experience, right? Step out of their comfort zone and experience what it's like to teach where children are hungry. It's really hot and there's no air conditioning,
Yeah,
where you're trying to catch a student up 2 grade levels behind in a short time.
yeah,
So the work that I did was really ensuring that they had the resources, they had
yeah,
mentors,
yeah,
they had professional development. We brought in some of the best speakers
yeah,
and most well known.
yeah,
But you know what? It
yeah,
was the one on one conversations they had with
yeah,
teachers, that
yeah,
learning what the lessons were.
yeah,
So that was great for 200 students a summer. but how could we scale it?
Hmm.
So I was then talking with DePaul University
Hmm.
and said, why can't we do this in Catholic schools? Because
Yeah,
DePaul is a Catholic university.
yeah, yeah.
I am so happy to say that working on focusing on the teacher
Hmm.
experience,
Hmm.
reflection is key,
Hmm.
and making sure that we're flexible,
Hmm.
that we're not just teaching from a
Yeah,
book, that we're teaching from
yeah.
experience. Teacher residencies have boomed in America.
Totally,
There is a national teacher residency organization that connects so many school districts.
totally.
And I know that you did Teach for India, and
Mm-hmm.
our residency worked with Teach for America in the same office.
Yeah,
So we were sharing those
yeah,
resources. That is
yeah,
what makes a difference. And those participants are still teaching today. And if
yeah,
they're
yeah.
not teaching in a classroom, they're in the leadership. They're in the district leadership. They are making a difference because they were boots on the ground.
That's
And
right.
that is what's so important about teaching
I love that.
residencies.
I
If
love that. I love
we
that.
India and every country is facing a
Yeah,
shortage of teachers.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
if we pair
yeah,
them with
yeah,
experience, kids don't know the
yeah,
difference.
yeah,
Parents, don't worry about it. We've got
yeah,
you covered.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what's so important is that we continue to sustain it,
yeah,
that it can't be a one and done, that it
yeah.
has to be something that those who go through the program, those who go for Teach for America, they mentor the new teachers,
Right.
that the new teachers grow out and they recruit new people.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those are what's so important.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I love that. I mean, I also think, Dr. Ann, like the biggest, my friend and I were just talking about it, that teachers are so poorly paid in India that none of the smart people want to get into teaching. So there's not just a teacher shortage, there's a high quality teacher shortage because we're just not paying wages. I mean, it's just
No.
ridiculous.
Well, and
Um,
Devangana, think about it. Doctors make a lot of money.
I know. I was just
Why
thinking of that.
doctors
Yeah,
make a lot of money, so why
yeah,
can't teachers make a lot of money?
yeah,
Because they're doing the same thing. And teachers are sometimes they're mom and dad for
yeah,
a kid.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes they're the nurse.
yeah,
They
yeah,
are the social
yeah,
worker. They do
yeah,
so much.
yeah, yeah,
And they haven't been trained in those things. They just do
yeah,
it from their heart.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, no, it's a complicated space. So tell me, what were some areas, Dr. Ann, like through the teacher residency, you spoke of some stuff, but like what were some marked areas of improvement,
Mhm.
intervention that your program made possible? Because I'm always like doing a step back to think about if I've worked with my team for 6 months training them to work on the ground. What are some marked areas of improvement that I'm seeing? What are some areas I still need to work at? So what were some like areas that you just how your teachers flourished at after the
I would
teacher residence?
I would say that we made sure that all of our teachers, and this is before it became popular,
Yeah,
but really looked at social emotional learning
yeah,
because we really need to understand how we interact with each other, how we communicate non-verbally.
yeah,
How can you read a student if they're not answering you? So
yeah.
being able to read their behavior and
Right.
being able to teach confidence. That
Yeah.
is the biggest thing that came out of the
So
residency
true.
was go from go from a student coming to you with, do you like this?
Yeah,
To a student coming to you with, I did
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah. I can't hear you. We lost you, Dr. Ann. We can't hear you.
Hang
Now
on
we
a
can.
second.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Now we can.
Um,
Yeah. Sorry. Huh.
so really helping them build confidence.
Yeah.
That is a key piece in that teaching residency
Right.
because
Right.
that's not taught in the textbooks.
Yeah.
The other thing that we really focused on was really spiraling our curriculum. So when you teach something, and what you do is you have students try something out on their own,
Yeah.
explain it to you, then teach them the concept and the skill and have them do it. And the
Yeah.
next day, have them start teaching you. So continually going around and around up instead of we do this one day, we do this one day, we do this one day.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
students need to teach us, and that's how they build that confidence.
Right. Right.
The
Right.
other thing I would say is, I honestly, reflection.
Yeah.
At the end of every day, teachers should stop and take notes.
Yeah.
What worked,
Yeah.
what didn't work, and a
Yeah.
little bit of gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't write it down without looking back on it.
Yeah.
You can't do a report just
Yeah.
and give it off to
Yeah.
somebody. You
Yeah.
have to come back to it.
Yeah.
So we taught our residents, resident teachers, to make professional development goals
Yeah.
and to keep journals on how they
Yeah.
were doing on those.
Yeah.
And I, as the administrator, I didn't
Yeah.
rank them,
Yeah.
they ranked themselves.
I love that.
And they said what they need help with.
Yeah.
Because if we don't listen to them, they're not going to get better. So,
Yeah.
really looking at social emotional, which is connected to mental health. Also, get to know the families
Yeah.
because there's a lot you can learn there. But I also think don't stick with one textbook.
Yeah.
Try to build a toolbox
Right.
and find out what works.
Yeah.
And you know us, we are from the IB, International
Yeah.
Baccalaureate, and we believe in
Yeah.
concepts.
Yeah. Yeah.
If a kid
Yeah.
knows how to do something over and over, great.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not learning.
Yeah.
But with our kids, sometimes it's just enjoying
Yeah.
friendships and
Yeah.
socializing.
Yeah.
And you how do you help the parents know that those
Yeah.
are the big wins?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
another piece of residency is how to work with
Yeah.
parents.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, no, 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 for sure. Those are some notes that I've taken because that's kind of like stuff I need to do when we get a new batch of teachers for Brain Bristle for
Yeah.
this year. Talk. I mean, I know, like the states is always trying to reinvent and do a lot in the space of special education and autism
Mhm.
and all of that. But talk a little bit about special education policy in the
Mhm.
states. What's the policy around inclusion? What's the
Mhm.
provision in schools? And if you could change a few policy measures, what would those be? But like I'm more curious about what is it like for an autistic kid from a lower income family,
Mhm.
especially in the States, and how do they navigate that journey?
Well, I think what's really, I do love that we have protections
Yeah,
for all students.
yeah,
And, a lot of other countries look to us and our legislation. We have the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act.
right,
And in
right,
2004, that's more than 20 years ago, they
yeah,
added improvement.
right,
If we were to go back to the law and reauthorize it, I think it wouldn't be improvement, it'd be inclusion.
right,
So what we've done is, um, normally when I was in school a long time ago, students with special needs were in a separate classroom.
yeah,
Now I am leading a district, a very small rural district, high poverty.
right,
We do not have any classrooms
yeah,
that they stay in all day.
yeah,
They, our students stay in their classrooms more. Teachers come into their classrooms to help. They might
yeah,
come out of their classroom, but only a short time.
got it,
And that short time is focused on a specific skill.
right,
So, for instance, with a child with autism, perhaps it's really working on their ability to express.
yeah,
Well, in the test we give, it would be measured by written expression. It would be measured by answering questions about comprehension.
yeah,
That student just needs to be able to feel heard,
yeah,
however they need to hear,
yeah,
however they need to communicate.
yeah,
I think some of the biggest problems in where I'm at
yeah,
is diagnosis.
yeah,
So a lot of parents
Hmm.
don't have access to healthcare when
Hmm.
they're poor.
Hmm.
So they look to the school. It's really important to know that the educators cannot diagnose,
Right.
but they can see how they're eligible to get
Right.
support.
Right.
And that is a game changer. It's
Yeah.
a game changer because then their children can get help. And then we as a school district work to get them the medical support, the social work support, the
Hmm.
mental health support
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
support
Hmm.
not just the
Hmm.
child, but the family. So it's really,
Hmm.
really, really fantastic. I think
Hmm.
the other challenge, though, is teachers.
Yeah.
Teachers don't know about autism. They
Right.
hear this word and it's scary,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
only a picture in their mind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
what this is.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, we talk about the autism spectrum as a linear
Yeah.
line. It's
Yeah.
not.
It's
One of
not. Yeah.
I was just explaining, you were in my class, you were teaching, you
Yeah.
were speaking with my class,
Yeah. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
instead, if we think about a stove and the dials on the stove, that's that's each and every one of us.
Yeah.
Some are stronger in communication, some are
Yeah.
not so social.
Yeah.
We all have different dials, and
Yeah.
that's what we have to cue in on.
Yeah.
I have a brain injury. Every brain
Yeah.
injury is like a snowflake.
Yeah.
No two are alike. The
Yeah.
same with children, full stop. No child is the same as
No,
another.
for sure. For sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Disability is something that we have to hear more of from
Yeah.
students. I actually encourage my teachers in special education to spend the majority of their time listening rather than te- rather than speaking.
Yeah.
Let's do it by showing. Let's
Yeah.
do it by using manipulatives,
Right.
using tools around them. That it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a textbook and I don't have to keep writing lines.
Yeah.
Because writing
Yeah.
lines is not processing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think in America, we do have legislation to support that we are providing the least restrictive environment, which
Yeah.
means that the student can be where they are best, um, they're learning best without negatively impacting their education.
Yeah.
But we have to start seeing that as individual.
Yeah.
Devangana, what is the least restrictive environment for you? What's the
Yeah.
least restrictive environment for me?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just because our friend over here doesn't have disability
Right.
doesn't mean they have an LRE.
Right.
So we
Right.
have to think what I would love
Hmm.
in the future. I really, really love. There are two states that do it, to
Hmm.
my knowledge.
Hmm. Hmm.
I would love teachers to be dual
Hmm.
certified,
Yeah.
general education and special education,
Yeah.
so that they see both. Because this is what I learned in Cambodia. This is disability. This is your classroom.
Yeah.
If you put kids with disability in a classroom, you're
Yeah.
integrating.
Yeah.
But if they are included, they are working together on
That's
everything.
right.
That,
Yeah.
that's what we need to get to.
Yeah.
That, and we have to train teachers
Yeah.
to be open to that.
Right. Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
much of our kids with special needs, it's not them, it's the
It
adults.
is
So
totally.
how can we support each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love this idea too, is I talked about the medical model of fixing and the social model of belonging. What about just human rights? We're all human.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves a
Right.
voice.
Right. Right.
Everybody
Right.
deserves a seat at the table. So
Yeah.
invite them,
Yeah.
have them come in.
Right. 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 Right.
But but
No, for
but
sure.
it's hard to put that in the law. It's
Yeah.
really hard to put
It
that in
is. It
laws.
is. It is. It is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you can even train people a lot, train your teachers a lot, but how much of it trickles down to the last mile is
Mm-hmm.
still something that matters a lot in the space of autism, and I think that's where we sometimes fall short.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can have everything in place, but still, like, how do we ensure trickle down is
Mm-hmm.
really important.
Right.
Okay, so Dr. Ann, that was amazing to think about, like, all that's there for a kid on the spectrum of autism or
Yeah.
disabilities in the States, because India is still like trying to figure out what does it mean by Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, which means like every child should be educated.
Mm-hmm.
We're still figuring out a lot of the dynamics of that.
Mm-hmm.
So you worked across a lot of countries. Which ones have been your favorite? What made them so good? Which ones did you
Mm-hmm.
struggle with? Why?
So, hands down, I would love to go back to Cambodia to work
Is it? I love
because
Cambodia.
I
Yeah,
love Cambodia. And the reason being is because there's truly an
hmm.
acceptance of each other. But one thing that really challenges me is generational trauma.
Yeah,
Because you have a group of people who are our parents or grandparents' age, no,
yeah,
parents' age,
yeah,
who experienced this war.
yeah,
And then with each generation, they kind of distance
yeah.
from it. So how do we talk about something that was so significant,
Right.
and how can we go into a country that is so full of life and
Yeah,
is so eager
yeah,
and yet not change the fabric of who they
yeah,
are?
yeah, yeah,
And I feel that as an American,
yeah,
um, oftentimes I come in and people are oh so thankful that I've come, and they are just so appreciative. And I will say I learn more
yeah,
than I give.
yeah.
Always.
Always.
I would also I would love I loved Africa. I'd love to go to South Africa for
Ooh,
that
fun.
same reason.
Hmm.
Because they have this concept. Have you ever heard of Ubuntu? Uh, Ubuntu.
Ubuntu.
So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so a person through a person
yeah,
a person is a person through people. And I
yeah,
thought about, how does that work in disability? How
yeah,
does that work with children on the spectrum
yeah,
who, how can they, you and I are
yeah,
talking as I'm created you,
yeah,
you've added to
yeah,
me.
yeah,
But how
yeah,
does a child with disability feel that they are part of somebody else?
yeah,
Because their
yeah,
world is really lonely,
yeah,
especially children with autism. They may be feeling like they're in this bubble,
yeah,
and they're not even aware of how much they isolate themselves.
yeah, yeah,
So, how can we bring these cultural ideas of togetherness
yeah,
into the work we do?
yeah,
um and how can we start recognizing that disability is not a, a bad label?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
something that makes us diverse.
yeah,
It's almost,
yeah,
and I love it because being an American, we've gone through civil rights. Well,
yeah,
disability is
yeah,
really about becoming part of everybody. And I
yeah,
think we're
yeah,
there. I
yeah.
think we're coming to that. And I know India. Oh, India was amazing. I loved Mumbai. I'm so anxious to go back and go to other
I miss
states
it.
because
Come back. Yeah,
it's so, I think many people from abroad don't realize how different it is from Delhi to Mumbai, or
yeah, yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
understand the north to the south.
Totally.
And also just education is flourishing there.
Yeah, yeah,
Flourishing.
yeah,
There's so much excitement,
yeah.
and I'm so excited because in India, innovation is going off like
Oh
it's
God,
just
yeah,
popping.
yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
just
We're
popping.
wired. Yeah,
You are.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just about, how do we share it out?
Right, right, right.
How do we
Yeah,
share it out?
yeah,
But
yeah,
I have to say right now, I love being home in Chicago. I love being with my family because I think through all
yeah,
the work we
yeah,
do,
yeah,
our support systems
Yeah.
really matter. There's a
Yeah.
lot that teachers take in every day. There's a
Yeah.
lot that parents have on their
Yeah.
shoulders.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just have to sit around and enjoy a chai and chat
That's it.
and just let it go,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know?
that's amazing. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
beautiful. I miss you. I hope, work or life brings you back
Yeah.
here. Because
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be fabulous. So Dr. Anne, you worked with kids with disabilities, and I know you deeply care, and you
Mhm.
deeply like care about kids who are struggling or
Mhm.
who are in need. What are some, share a few stories of success that you've seen across your
Yeah.
journey,
Yeah.
stories of student agency, student voice, because I think that's what matters at Brain Bristle for us. And as you know, right, like
Yeah.
with Daksha, with any other kid, I was just like, go out, like be a part of this. It's so important for us to
Mhm.
empower our children on the spectrum in the best, most organized way possible.
Yeah.
So share a few stories of student success, student voice. Yeah,
So I would say I love being outside and I love doing sports.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think it is absolutely fantastic when students not just compete individually,
yeah.
but they develop that teamwork, right?
That's it.
So there's a student at our current high school who has severe need, but he loves to help. He is the helper.
Yeah,
So he wanted to be part of the basketball team.
yeah,
He's part of the basketball team. He doesn't play,
yeah,
but the whole team does not go out without
yeah,
him. The whole team lifts him up, right?
yeah.
Well, then he got so confident being in this group that he decided to be part of Special Olympics.
Right.
And Special Olympics, where I am, is not very big. It's in
Yeah,
where I teach is very rural and they don't know about these things. So
yeah,
his mom worked with teachers
yeah,
and got him to drove him an hour away to do trainings and practices,
yeah.
and he won a medal. And then he came back to the school and they just celebrated him.
I love
And
that.
it really inspired me that while an organization like Special Olympics is around the
Yeah,
world, people might not know what it's there for.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
Special Olympics is really about bringing families together
Good.
to run, to
Yeah,
play, right?
yeah.
So I loved that. I loved
I
hearing
love.
that.
Yeah,
Um I think the other thing that really sticks to me is when you have a student who is very quiet in class.
yeah,
So we had this student where she was just so quiet. She had Down syndrome and she was really quiet in the class and the teacher was like she really needs to work on writing. That is her skill area. Really
yeah.
focus there. Well, by the end of the year,
I know.
this student is part of she's dancing in the hallway with her friends down the line.
Love
Yes,
that.
you should walk straight, but there are times when they like to play around. She was starting to draw pictures as her way of writing. So
I love.
her fine motor skills were not, she couldn't do the fine motor skills for letters, but
Yeah,
she could definitely draw. So she started drawing stories.
yeah.
Isn't that communication?
I
It's
love that.
written because
That's
she's
so
using her fine
communicative.
motor
Yeah,
skills, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I really love those. And I also just think about, again, little Sahara, my 13-year-old friend in the desert, who desperately wanted to go to school and she couldn't.
Yeah.
So she would every day in my area, she would take a stick and she would start writing letters that she would see on cans or,
I love
and things around her. She would start writing the letters and I thought, wow,
I love
while
that.
have she doesn't have a disability in the medical sense,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
disadvantaged and she's discriminated against because she's a
yeah,
girl,
yeah,
right? In a place that, you need to stay home.
yeah,
But she was using her agency.
yeah,
She was using the tools around her.
yeah.
And when I got, and then I brought out the crayons. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. All of a sudden her work is all over the village. And it just was so
Yeah.
exciting to
I
see
love
that, hey,
that. Mhm.
give, give a, she just made it happen.
Yeah.
She made it happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
those are those are my stories of
I love
students. Yes, the
that.
community comes in, but the student just brings it to life.
I feel like Dr. Ann, it's just like these kids are just desperate to, get out there, learn, be empowered, change the
Yeah.
world, be superheroes. And we as adults sometimes just cut them down. And
Mm,
I'm always telling my team, give your kids wings, right? Like when I teach children, I'm just like fly, like do whatever, and we'll get you there. Like we'll figure
yeah.
ways for you. So I love that abundance of that thought,
Mhm.
because I love these stories, and they just like make me emotional and so excited for all that's possible
Mhm.
for friends on the spectrum. So we're at almost 40
Yeah.
minutes. Just one really important last questions. I know you've been in the space of disabilities and inclusion, and you've deeply cared about a lot of it. I feel like there are people who are in the space of inclusion and disabilities and policies, and there are people who care and they are in the space of inclusion and disabilities and policy, and you're one of them, Dr. And what would be some closing thoughts or words that you'd like to share, especially because we're growing Brain Bristle to more and more schools, so I think
Mhm.
like your wisdom and experience is just going to be so fabulous to close this
Mhm.
out.
Well, I love what you're doing and I love your scalability of
Yeah.
it because um, it really is a ripple.
Yeah.
So I would say
Yeah.
the most powerful thing for us in
Yeah.
the work we do is sharing stories.
Yeah.
Because when you share the story, you're giving a visual, you're
Mhm.
giving life to the statistic.
Mhm.
I think also that we need to I always go to identity.
Yeah.
So in the policy work, what are we honoring
Yeah.
to support? You have to honor the identity. And how can we empower I know I'm going on,
No,
but
no,
how
no.
can we empower
Yeah.
parents in their identity?
Yeah.
How can we empower parents in their identity of their children who are those bright butterfly wings and flying
Yeah.
around
Yeah.
and doing all the amazing work when they're challenged over and over and over about
Yeah.
the um, the regular things
Yeah.
that they're supposed to learn. So I think really it comes down to identity, telling the stories, and um, and taking some ownership
Yeah.
that you're part of the
Yeah.
story. Take
Yeah. Yeah.
ownership
Yeah.
that I let this student show me something. And
Right.
that's humility.
That's
That's
amazing.
humility right there. So
Yeah.
as we're making policies,
Yeah.
we need to be hearing from people at the table.
Yeah.
I love that we have older people making policies,
Right.
but let's get the younger people too. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, even students with disabilities can be
Yeah.
part of student council.
Totally.
E-
Totally.
They
Yeah.
can give their opinion and they will build their confidence. Parents will become more confident
Yeah.
and also the networking will grow. As
A
Brain
hundred
Bristle
percent.
grows,
Yeah.
you basically have like a Brain Bristle family, but you also have this group of experts
Yeah.
and they're not
Yeah.
us. They're the parents.
Yeah.
They're the
Yeah.
students.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah.
to
No,
really lean into that.
I
We have to lean into it.
I love that. And you know what, Fran, like we just finished our school year, so across a lot of our low income schools we had the IEP meetings
Hmm.
with the student support team. So we had the parents, we had the teacher, we had the school principal, we had the Brain Bristle social worker, and then we had the autistic child also sitting in the meeting, and we gave them like student voice. So I said, if you don't agree with something on the IEP that we're saying you haven't met this goal, but you have, feel free to talk about it. And there were kids who were just like, but I can do this and I can do that. And we're like, no, you can't. So not just to to like policy inclusion and policy and inclusion decision making in a token way, but like truly making them a part and hearing them, it's so important.
It
And
is.
I love that you, yeah, I love that you spoke about this to kind of like close us out. Anything else before we give you your Sunday to Sundays in
I
Bristle Talks?
I just honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I am
Yeah,
so full of gratitude
yeah,
for every person that I've ever encountered,
amazing.
the positive and the negative,
Yeah,
because through reflection and
yeah,
action from that
yeah,
reflection,
yeah,
we make a difference.
yeah,
And this is not about this. I also believe strongly, you know this, that it's progress, not perfection.
yeah,
And we have to think about it that way, that we're all on a journey.
yeah,
And I know we
yeah,
said it,
yeah,
that we would still be connected even after
yeah,
I left
yeah.
country. And I'm so excited to still be connected to anyone who's watching this.
I
Feel free to
know.
reach out to us, because
Yeah,
this is our community.
yeah,
And it doesn't have to stick within a town or a
yeah,
state or a
yeah,
country, because
yeah.
we have the technology to connect now.
But I'll put your email address in the comments below so people have that, because
Great.
I know you're not active on Instagram, but I'll put your email address, and I hope like people reach out to you
Yeah.
for anything, and I'm just so grateful for you, and I miss you, and I hope you come back soon.
I miss
All right.
you too.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Thank you. Have a great day and a happy anniversary to your mom and dad. And
Yes.
have a lovely, lovely, lovely day.
All
Love
right, you
you.
too.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Bye.